In a peaceful village surrounded by green hills lived a kind-hearted girl named Lena. She was only 16 years old. Her smile could brighten anyone's day, and she believed that kindness always came back in the end. But Lena's life wasn't easy. Her mother had passed away when she was very young. A few years later, her father remarried a woman named Selena. At first, Selena acted kind.
But after the wedding, everything changed.
She made Lena clean the entire house, wash clothes by hand, cook every meal, and work from sunrise until late at night. If even one thing wasn't perfect, she would shout, "You're so useless. Can't you do anything right?" Lena never answered back. She simply smiled softly and said, "Lena, I'm sorry, I'll do better." Every morning before sunrise, Lena swept the yard. She fed the chickens, collected water from the river, cooked breakfast, then worked in the garden. Meanwhile, Selena's own daughter Bella spent the day sleeping, shopping, and gossiping with friends. Whenever neighbors praised Lena for being hardworking, Selena became even more jealous. One afternoon, an old woman knocked on their gate. She looked exhausted. "Old woman, excuse me, I've been walking for hours. Could I please have some water?" Selena frowned. "Stepmother, go away. We don't feed strangers." She slammed the door, but Lena quietly ran outside with fresh water, bread, and fruit. "Lena, please take these." The old woman smiled warmly. "Old woman, may kindness always find you." Lena simply smiled. "I hope you stay safe." The woman walked away. Unknown to everyone, she wasn't an ordinary traveler. Days passed. One morning, Selena handed Lena a tiny basket. "Stepmother, go into the forest and bring me enough berries to fill this basket." Lena looked outside. Snow covered the ground. There were no berries in winter. "Lena, but it's winter." Selena crossed her arms. "If you come back without berries, don't come back at all." Lena quietly left. She walked through the freezing forest. Hours passed. Her hands became numb. She was tired, hungry, and cold. Finally, she noticed smoke rising between the trees. She followed it. There stood a small wooden cottage. An elderly woman opened the door. Lena had helped days before. The woman smiled. "I've been expecting you." Lena looked surprised. "You remember me?" The woman nodded. Kindness is never forgotten. She welcomed Lena inside. The room was warm. A fire crackled gently. She served Lena hot soup and fresh bread. After Lena finished eating, the woman asked, "Why are you here alone?" Lena told her everything. The cruel chores, the impossible task, the constant insults. The old woman listened quietly. Then she smiled. She handed Lena a small wooden seed. "Plant this outside." Lena did. Within seconds, the snowy ground trembled. Tiny green leaves appeared, then branches, then hundreds of beautiful berry bushes covered with ripe sweet berries. Lena gasped. The basket filled itself. The old woman smiled. "You earned this." Before Lena left, the woman gave her one more gift, a tiny silver necklace. "Wear this only when your heart remains kind." Lena thanked her and returned home. When Selena saw the overflowing basket, her eyes became wide. "How did you do this?" Lena simply replied, "I met someone kind." Selena didn't believe her. Instead, she became greedy. The next morning, she sent Bella into the same forest. "Bring back whatever treasures you find." Bella walked through the forest, complaining the whole way. Eventually, she found the cottage. The elderly woman opened the door. "You look tired." Bella rolled her eyes. "Just give me whatever magic you gave Lena." The old woman calmly replied, "First help me gather firewood." Bella laughed. "I'm not your servant." "Then at least sweep the floor." "No." "Would you like some soup?" "It's too plain." The old woman simply nodded. "If that's your choice." She gently pointed toward the door. Bella stormed away angrily. As she walked home, she found a shiny golden chest beside the path. Thinking it was treasure, she grabbed it immediately. The moment she opened it, Thousands of black feathers burst into the air. They covered Bella from head to toe. No matter how much she scrubbed, the feathers wouldn't come off for weeks. The villagers laughed every time they saw her. Meanwhile, Lena continued helping everyone. She cared for sick neighbors, shared food with hungry families, looked after lost animals, never asking for anything in return. One rainy evening, the village bridge suddenly collapsed. An old man was trapped on the other side. Most people stayed inside because the river was dangerous. But Lena tied a rope around herself, slowly crossed the broken bridge, and helped the man reach safety. Everyone cheered. The old man turned out to be the king's trusted advisor, traveling in simple clothes. A few days later, royal guards arrived at the village. Selena panicked, thinking someone had reported her. Instead, the captain stepped forward. "We are looking for a young woman named Lena." Lena nervously stepped outside. The advisor smiled. "You saved my life. The king wishes to thank you." At the royal palace, the king welcomed Lena with great respect. "Heard not only about your bravery, but about your kindness." The villagers had shared countless stories, how Lena helped children, fed strangers, comforted the lonely, worked without complaining. The king handed her a beautiful deed. "I would like to give you a cottage, farmland, and enough money to live comfortably." Lena couldn't believe it. She thanked him with tears in her eyes. When Selena heard the news, greed filled her heart once again. She marched to the palace demanding rewards. "I raised her." The king calmly asked, "Did you raise her with love?" Selena stayed silent. The villagers began telling the truth. They spoke about the shouting, the impossible chores, the cruel punishments. The king looked disappointed. A child should never be treated this way. Selena and Bella left the palace ashamed. Months passed. Lena moved into her beautiful little cottage. But she didn't forget anyone. She invited lonely elders to eat with her. She hired struggling families to work on her farm. She donated food every harvest season. One afternoon, there was another knock on her door. It was Selena. She looked different. Her expensive clothes were gone. Her pride had disappeared. She quietly whispered, "I'm sorry. I was cruel. I let jealousy control me." Lena looked into her eyes. She remembered every painful day, every tear, every harsh word. She could have turned her away. Instead, she smiled gently. "I forgive you. But forgiveness only has meaning if you truly change." Selena nodded with tears in her eyes. This time, she meant it. Slowly, she began helping others too. Not because she wanted rewards, but because she finally understood kindness. And Bella, seeing the change in her mother, also learned to work hard and treat people with respect. The village slowly healed, not because everyone became perfect, but because one kind heart refused to become cruel. Kindness may not change every person immediately. Sometimes it is ignored. Sometimes it is mocked. Sometimes it even seems to make life harder. But true kindness leaves a mark that anger never can. It inspires others. It opens unexpected doors. And in the end, a kind heart is the greatest treasure anyone can have.